Dane and Jeff's Media Dump is recorded under the influence of alcohol in front of a live studio audience. Okay, I got a hypothetical for you today.
Okay.
And you might think this is a hot take, but go with me on this, all right, dude? Smoking crack makes you a better entrepreneur. All right, I'm gonna paint a picture for you. All right. So,
Okay.
Imagine for a moment, Tyrone Biggums. You know who that is?
No.
The crackhead character that Dave Chappelle did on Chappelle's Show.
I never watched a Dave Chappelle show.
All right, so just imagine Dave Chappelle.
Is that the guy? You see the GIF where he's scratching his neck?
Yeah, exactly.
He looks like a bum. Okay.
I think they did one where he was like on Fear Effect, like, I'm not going to lie, I've tasted penis before. But picture him, all right, crackhead from Chappelle's Show. There's a close-up, doorbell ringing, all right. Super prim and proper wasp in the suburbs answers the door. Cut over to Tyrone. I'll pick that dog shit up off your lawn for $5. Dude leans to the side, looks past Tyrone. Close up. Big steaming pile of dog shit just right in the middle of everything. Flies buzzing it. You get the Foley in there.
All right.
Dude gives him a disapproving glare. Hands over the cash. Much obliged, slams the door in his fucking face. Tyrone walks over, picks up the shit barehanded. Wide angle shot. Walks through the guy's shrubs into the next door. Throws the shit down. Rings the next asshole's doorbell. Plot twist, Geico logo pops up. All right, I just made a commercial. Tell me smoking crack would not make someone a better entrepreneur. Because I guarantee you, if Chappelle had thought of that, that would have been a sketch on that show.
Oh, I guarantee it. It's just also one of those things of would Geico allow that kind of something like that with their name on it?
I mean, it would have fit in perfectly. Remember when they were doing that, can Geico save you 15% or more on your car insurance? Did this little piggy squill all the way home? That would have fit in perfectly. Like, put it on fucking Adult Swim.
So your thing would be, is a crackhead
does smoking cracks make you a better entrepreneur? I'll pick that dog shit off your lawn for $5.
Yeah, I can see that. It's also one of those things of how would Breaking Bad turn out if they did something like that.
If Dave Chappelle had played Jesse Pinkman. Science, bitch! Rick James.
You know what? You have me intrigued. Color me intrigued.
Oh, and with that nonsense, welcome to Dane and Jeff's Media Dump. I am your host, Mr. L. Dane Puzzles Esquire, Mr. Puzzles for short, Dane for shorter. And with me today, as always, he slices, he dices, he stays crunchy even in milk, and if you ordered now, we'll include a genuine imitation leather carrying case. Mr. Grumpy Syllables. Jeff, how the fuck are you doing today, dude?
I am doing well, Mr. Esquire. How you doing?
Oh.
How'd you know?
I come in sober and I'm working on it.
How'd you know I stay crunchy when I'm wet?
Oh, educated guess, dude. Balls that big, they gotta soak up something.
Hey. Trade secret.
Oh. So what you been up to, man? How's your week been?
Oh, just been dealing with all sorts of fun stuff with post-marriage. Nothing serious, just getting like all sorts of documents, credit cards.
I was going to say post-marriage, there wasn't a divorce I didn't hear about, was there?
No. We're still happily together. But no, it's just getting everything in order, all her documents, her credit cards, all that updated with her new last name. But apart from that, so I posted this in the Steam Machine Discord. I started playing Stardew Valley. Of course, everyone's just like, oh, Stardew Valley, what a great game. I bought it last year for the Switch. And I'm just like, it's not clicking, It's just like, I don't know if it's I don't understand the game or just because I'm like, I just don't care. So for a year, I never touched it. And then all of a sudden, this past weekend, and I'm just like, I don't want to play my PS5. I just want to sit down, watch TV, but I also want to play a game. Let's dust off the Switch. Let's see what I have. All right, let's give Stardew Valley another chance. So I started playing it, and I don't know what the hell changed. Maybe it's just because I was like, oh boy, I'm making money on my crops. I ended up playing it for maybe 8 hours. Just nonstop. I was like, oh, what a pleasant experience. I don't know what changed, but it's just like, wow. I can finally understand why people say this is a great game.
It is a fun little game. It's really not the genre that I normally gravitate to. I think the first time I played it, I had the Android version on my phone, and I'd play it on the shitter when I was supposed to be working at Walmart.
Of course.
Yeah, like you do. But yeah, I remember it being a neat little game, and I liked it good enough that I said, I actually want to play this on a real screen. I ended up picking it up on probably Steam and playing it. And really relaxing game. I think after I had ran through it, it'd pretty much done everything for me that it was going to do. And I've not replayed it or anything, but that initial just, start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a good game.
Yeah, it's charming. It's nice music. It's very cute graphics. It's just a fun experience, and I'm gonna continue playing it just because I want to play a game, but I also want to relax. I'm just gonna play this thing in handheld, but we'll see how long I'm able to play it on until the Joy-Cons eventually start causing drift. Because how everyone says, the Joy-Cons are a piece of shit. Sorry, Nintendo.
Sorry, not sorry.
Build a better quality item.
Or buy a Steam Deck and put Suyu on it.
Yeah, right. Another game, actually, I started playing again. Something I haven't played since my childhood. Have you ever heard of Jazz Jackrabbit?
Heard of, yes. Played, no.
You could buy the whole complete version on GOG for like $10. It's just, for those who don't know, it's just a 2D shoot 'em up platform, kind of like Mega Man, only you're a green jackrabbit, and you're killing turtles while trying to save your blue bunny girlfriend.
I am intrigued. I always called Mega Man Jump and Shoot Man, and the gun made more sense than the jumping for a robot, so now we've got the inverse situation.
Watch some gameplay and you'll see there's a lot more platforming than there is in Mega Man, but it's still the same basic premise. You complete the stage, you shoot, you get different weaponry. I mean, it's all still the same gun. You just can get different ammo for it, and you just go to the end of the stage, and then you fight the boss at the end of a chapter. It's very pleasant.
Yeah, that actually reminds me, I had a blast from my past show up last week, talking about, old games. We got my daughter one of those little $5 knockoff imitation Game Boys. It's like 201 games.
All right. And you played Sex Vixens from Space.
Yes, and I'm glad she's not a strong reader. No, got it for her, charged it up, and I handed it to her, and she's like, how do I mess with it? So I just showed her how to navigate the menu, pick a game, and all this. And all it is 200 old-ass, NES games that are a combination of untranslated Japanese copies of games and weird Chinese bootleg ports. I was scrolling through it, and I found a game called Pikachu, which is just a NES Tetris port that has a avatar of Pikachu reacting yay when you do good or sad when you do bad, and shooting off electricity every time it dumps a bunch of shit on the screen for you. But she's scrolling through and she's like, what's Turtles? I don't know, play it. So she's loading up Turtles, and I hear some music that brings back memories.
Okay.
She was playing the original Ninja Turtles game from the NES.
Nice. Very nice.
And I didn't realize just how much that played on loop in my childhood until I heard that, and I'm like, I know what she's playing just from the sound of it. And then she goes, Dad, I can't read what Splinter's saying, because she could tell this is supposed to be Ninja Turtles. She recognized Splinter. I'm like, you're 7, sound it out. She's like, I can't. I don't know these letters. What the hell are you talking? And that's when I found out it was a Japanese untranslated version. I'm like, oh, I don't know these letters either, sweetie. Sorry for being an asshole. So, great dad moment there.
Smooth.
You know what? I've taught her that, you don't put up with other people's bullshit, but whenever you're in the wrong, acknowledge it. Every now and then I'm in the wrong. So, I think she's 7, so twice now.
How many times does your daughter be like, Dad, you suck, or that's bullshit?
She probably thinks it a lot.
Well, sure. I mean, here we are as kids. We're 5 years old. I'm watching Revenge of the Nerds or Blues Brothers, and I'm just like, the hell's motherfucker mean?
Well, the thing is, as big an asshole as I am, I've somehow stumbled into having a very sweet little girl because I'll do something and just be a complete asshole and be like, man, I'm a shitty dad. And if she hears me acknowledge that I'm feeling like I'm a shitty dad, she will actually come up and argue with me. No, you're not a dad. You're not a bad dad. So,
honey, I didn't say anything about being a bad dad. I said I was a shitty dad. That's worse.
Oh, don't worry. We already had the damn it, quit cussing talk.
When you were a kid, and your parents heard you cuss, did they give you the soap?
I never had the soap, but I did get this owned at a football game once.
I had all 3 versions of soap. Just a normal bar soap. I got that mechanics bar soap that's supposed to be like really tough on grease.
Oh, the fucking like lava shit.
The lava soap. And I was also given liquid. So
what they make you do, like gargle it or something?
No, that's just like open your mouth and they do just like a small little squirt in my mouth. Giggity. But so here you are, you're trying to get rid of this taste, but it's liquid soap. It gets everywhere in your mouth, so it's hard for like the next 30 minutes. You're just like, God damn it! How the hell am I supposed to get this? No matter what you drink, everything is just like tastes like soap.
Damn, that is intense, dude. I'm not even going to pretend.
Well, obviously that was the more extreme versions of like my parents heard me say fuck or shit. It's like, where'd you learn that? It's just like movies.
I was going to say, what'd you call your aunt a cunt?
No, that one I never learned for many years to come. Come.
Oh, it's so fun being adults, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But how about you, buddy? What's going on with you?
I've spent the last 2 weeks fighting with my car. So last week, the day after we recorded, my alternator died.
Yeah, you were telling me this. That sucks.
And I'm a cheap asshole, so not only did I fix it myself, but I wouldn't buy the overpriced rebuilt one at the parts store for $300 with an $80 fucking core fee. So I went online and I ordered one for $80. It was brand new. I had it shipped to the house. I had to wait a couple of days for it to get here. So car out of commission for 3 days, stuck at the house. So I'm like, you know what? We just recorded. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go ahead and get the edit done on the episode since I can't go to work today. Got the preliminary edit, and even though we had technical issues last week, the new trick that we were using to sync up our recordings made life super simple. I got the preliminary edit done. I'm like, all right, I'm going to come back and I'm going to finish this later. Well, when later came, I sat down to do the final edit, put all the music and shit, and as I sat down to get started, I dumped an entire can of Mountain Dew Baja Blast into my keyboard.
Oh, no.
I'm like, motherfucker. I don't have a backup keyboard anymore because I gave it to my mom because the cat knocked a can of Dr. Pepper into hers.
There seems to be a theme here.
Yeah, keep fucking drinks away from the damn computer, you dumbass. But it's a big old beefy mechanical keyboard. I just took it apart, unplugged it, soaked it in water for a couple of days, and that dislodged all the shit, and it air dried, and it's fine now. But in the meantime, what the fuck was I going to do? That's when my Linuxing actually came in genuine handy. So I pulled out my laptop, and I was able to SSH through the network into my desktop, download the original files, so the unedited, no preliminary edit on these, raw wave files that you and me start with.
All right.
And I had to start over from scratch by the time I actually got started and the files had moved over, it was like 11:30 the night before it's supposed to post. So start over from the get-go and redo the whole damn thing on my laptop, which, while I got a decent laptop, it's not as fast as the desktop, obviously. But yeah, I had several choice words. And then I got up at the ass crack of dawn the next day and went and took the old alternator out, which 4 bolts came out super easy. Belt was off. I had everything detached in 15 minutes. I'm like, this is the easiest repair job I've ever done on this car. And then I spent an hour and a half because the damn alternator was stuck on the motor mount to get it dislodged.
Mm-hmm.
But it timed out good because I got it out, and just as soon as I washed my hands, UPS rolled in with the new alternator. So I was like, okay, well, hooked it all up. Sucker runs like a charm.
Did you order from Rock Auto or something? How the hell could
Amazon.
a brand new... Oh, okay, so it's Chinese built.
Yeah, so, I mean, it probably won't last as long as the original one, but, I mean, alternators are fairly tough. They don't go out super frequently. I mean, I've had this car for going on 10 years now. I've put almost 250,000 miles on it since I bought it.
I've owned my car for 11 years. I've only put 55,000 miles on it. I don't drive anywhere.
Well, I mean, I've had an 80-mile round trip every week to go to church, which is actually farther now because we got changed to a different place. Mm-hmm. When me and my wife first got married, we were on different shifts working at the same place. And it lined up so that I would get up at the ass crack of dawn, go into work. On my lunch break, I would come home, pick her up, and take her to work. And then on her lunch break, I would get off. We would spend her lunch together. Then I would come home and then go back and pick her up. So I was going back and forth to Walmart, which is 15 miles one way. 4 round trips a day. Anywhere from 3 to 5 days a week, depending on our schedules.
My God, man. It is so much easier for my wife and I because we work together. Our job is only like maybe 4 miles away, so that's like a 10, 15-minute drive, and there's no traffic when it's 4 or like 5:30 in the morning. So I mean, obviously I have to fill my car up with gas like every 3 weeks to a month. Her, because she rarely ever has to drive, it could be several months before it's just like, hey, Jeff, I need you to fill up my car. Like, all right.
Well, I'm the only one that drives. My wife doesn't have a license.
All right.
And, technically I own 2 cars, but only one is currently street legal. I haven't had tags on my old Civic since probably 2 years after we bought the Accord.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I ended up parking it, and it's been sitting there ever since. But we're actually thinking about getting it up and running again, and her finally getting her license. I want to give her the Accord, and I'll go back to driving my old Civic.
I mean, that'll be fun. Less driving you'll have to do.
Oh, no joke. But ever since I started doing the DoorDash, I put tons of fucking miles on that car.
Yeah, but it's a Honda, and Hondas are indestructible if you take good care of them.
Yeah, coming up on another transmission tune-up, but a little aggravating to get it turned loose, but after that, it's pretty...
Yeah. But
other than that, just, same shit, different day. Ain't a whole lot been going on.
I know that feeling. It's hard to believe that it's already almost at the end of the year. Where the hell is time going?
I know. I blinked, and it's November.
All right. Blink again. Oh, it's my birthday. Because those that are good friends with me, Steamish, Tadpog, and such, they know my birthday's next month.
Yeah, you and me bookend the year. Because I'll start off in January, and are you into November or beginning of December? I can never remember.
Beginning of December.
Beginning,
middle. However you want to look at the 11th.
I would call that early December.
Yeah.
I think you gotta get past at least the 13th to call it middle.
Well, there you have it. We have scientific... Actually, I don't even know if this is scientific. You have...
Drunk guesstimation.
There you go. I'll take it.
So, you got any more fun stuff before we hit Dalton? Haha, Dalton found an error.
I'm trying to think of everything that has happened these past couple weeks. Just, doctor's appointments. Found out my 1-year-old cat weighs 13 pounds, so he's a fat bastard. a fat, fluffy bastard.
Dude, I had an 18-pound cat. I can imagine. I know whenever you start getting into those, how big the fucking cats are. So yeah, that's a good sized cat.
18 pounds?
Oh
How the
yeah.
hell is that thing still alive?
Oh, he's not.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I have to imagine it had a severe diabetes.
Well, he had a really big frame to begin with.
All right. Was it the Maine Coon?
No, we found him and his sister when they were kittens underneath the house. They looked half drowned. Which, when they got bigger, he had a really big frame and she was smaller framed. But orange pattern, which is really uncommon in females. I don't know if you have ever noticed that, but usually you see an orange cat, it's a male.
Yeah.
But we didn't get them fixed in time, so he managed to hit that and knocked her up, and they had 4 very inbred children. And most of them had his same build, just the really big frame, but none of them swole up like he did.
Yeah.
But he had this black pattern on his back that looked, if you kind of squinted at it, it looked like a ninja doing a like ninjutsu pose. So I named him Roger. And he acted like a fucking ninja too. So he would hide in plain sight, and it'd be one of those cases of how the fuck didn't I see him? But you wouldn't notice he was there, and I'd be walking through the house, and he'd be like, wait for it. And then he would just throw his full fucking body weight and knock my ass into shit. He would just slam into me and then go tear ass into the house like, ha-ha, I got you, fucker. But he was the nice one. His sister, that I think my brother named her, her name is Zelda. She's still alive. She's getting on up there in years now.
Yeah.
But she was the mean one. She would like fuck with him and then run, and he'd chase after her, and she'd flip over on her back, grab him, and just beat the shit out of him until he realized, oh wait, I make 5 of her. And then one day she did that, and whenever she flipped over on her back and he ran across her and she grabbed him to start beating the shit, he just laid down on top of her. So all you could see was his fat ass spread out everywhere and her paws like fighting out the sides for dear life, like, help, 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 I can't breathe.
Get off me, you fat bastard.
Just teabagged the shit out of her.
I mean, I guess that's a way to show dominance.
I'm like, dude, that's your sister. And he's looking up at me like, what are you going to do about it?
Joe Dirt, you're my sister. You're my sister.
Oh, I'm your sister. Oh. We'll have to do that for the show.
Oh, absolutely. But not today. Today we are doing your pick.
Yep, today we are covering Shaun of the Dead. But before we get into that, we do have to cover Ha Ha Dalton Found an Error.
Okay. What do we do wrong?
This one actually does not come from Dalton. Dalton is the namesake for this segment because he busted my balls so many times when we first got started. Yeah. This one is from me, and I kind of addressed the reason that led to it. So last week we didn't do housekeeping because I said I've got an audio file that covers all of that I'm going to tack onto the ending, which is true. I'm not looking at it right now because I don't have a file browser on here, but it is true. I do have the file. But when I moved all that shit after I dumped the Mountain Dew in my computer, I just fucking forgot to copy it over. And by the time I remembered it, I was already halfway through uploading it. I said, fuck it. So we will have it on the end of this one.
I remember that bit, and I listened to the ending. I'm like, where's the closing stuff?
Yep.
And this was before I learned about the Mountain Dew incident. So it all makes perfect sense now.
So I'm not a liar. I'm just lazy and didn't feel like going back and redoing everything because I think it was like 3 a.m. by the time I had that uploading. And I was like, no, fuck this. I'm going to bed.
Dane is a klutz.
And I was stone cold sober when I knocked it over. Missed fucking opportunity.
Now, you see, you could have lied and be like, man, I had 3 Boilermakers in 30 minutes.
I mean, I could do that. But I think the episode's editing was just a little bit too tight for me to be able to convince anybody I was drunk off my ass when I did it.
I don't know. I think you would have gotten away with it. I never would have known. Who cares about the listener's opinion?
They listen to us.
Exactly. They listen to us bullshit.
Oh, which I do think we have a new listener who from outside of our bubble.
You told me this. This is exciting.
quick shout out if you're listening. Hi, Brock. It's my nicotine dealer. When I went by his shop the other day, we were bullshitting while he was building a coil, and organically, as it does, we were bullshitting about movies, which is just what I do all the damn time, apparently. And he goes, but I'm just an asshole who owns a vape shop. What do I know? And I said, yeah, I'm just an asshole who runs a podcast. What do I know? He's like, wait, you got a podcast? So on the spot, he jumped on Apple Podcasts, made sure he got the right show, and made a point to subscribe and start downloading our latest episode before I left. So, and I know that he actually listened to it because I saw the hit that popped up on our metrics afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. Because if he doesn't listen, someone doesn't listen for over a certain amount of time, it won't actually count it as a hit. So he actually checked us out, and he might still be listening. So
Brock,
we could have someone from outside of our little bubble.
Brock, if you're still listening and still tolerating us, you're the man.
You are the man.
Also, do you agree that Dane's a bitch?
Maybe, but Jeff is a fat bitch with huge testicles.
Okay, you're just spoiling all my secrets, even though those are definitely not secrets.
Your sack is featured prominently within our entire show description, dude. We are not burying the lead right now.
The funny thing is, I don't remember who started that. Was that Drew who started that? I know it was definitely Drew that started calling me a fat bitch. But was he also the one that started the whole big balls thing?
I really don't know, because it was already a meme when I joined Game Buds.
Yeah, this was definitely Game Buds, and I don't know, maybe it could have been Nate, it could have been Mitch, I really don't remember. This just definitely seems like it's a Drew sort of a joke.
It does sound like a Drew joke.
And it just built from there to like, Jeff, you have the biggest balls of them all.
But I don't think a Jackbox game has gone by that we didn't somehow find a way to work in your testicles as an answer somewhere.
Hell, we even threw that answer into a riff tracks.
Just once?
At least once.
Goddamn grass.
Hey. Is corn grass?
No, it's fucking corn.
Well, that is one dumb kid then.
Anyway, we've got a lot of fun to cover, so you want to go ahead and get it started on some movie talk?
Well, as a reminder, we did the ever popular Edgar Wright movie, Shaun of the Dead. First impressions. I fucking love this movie.
Oh, yeah. This used to be my litmus test for, is this girl worth dating or not? I would make her watch Shaun of the Dead, and if she didn't love it, she was not a keeper. Mm-hmm. Spoilers, every girl I dated while this test was a thing hated this fucking movie. And also, spoiler, my wife hates this fucking movie. So I watched this movie like 3 times since the last time we recorded. By myself in the middle of the night every damn time.
It did take me a while for me to actually like this movie, because I never got British humor until I started watching Top Gear, and then all of a sudden it's just like, oh hey, I've been told this movie is supposed to be excellent. God damn it, is this movie fantastic. I mean, the only other movie you could compare this to really is Zombieland, and I think that it blows Zombieland out of the water.
Zombieland is definitely the best American humor take on zombies that I've seen, but like this isn't just a good zombie comedy. This is a legit good zombie movie.
Yes.
But we did skip one thing, so we need to do our obligatory internet article blurb. So just to make sure that we're always having the most accurate and up-to-date information. We don't use Wikipedia here. All right?
No, we're sophisticated.
So I pulled this from the movie database, not the internet movie database. This is not IMDb, just themoviedb.com. And according to it is a thing. It's a thing. According to it, Shaun lives a supremely uneventful life, which revolves around his girlfriend, his mother, and, above all, his local pub. The gentle routine is threatened when the dead return to life and make strenuous attempts to snack on ordinary Londoners. So, this description does leave out one very important aspect of Shaun's life in this movie, and I know we're going to get into all the gritty details here in a minute, but it doesn't touch on the bromance between Shaun and Ed.
It doesn't touch Electro either.
Who can?
I'll tell you who can't. Their friend Pete. It's not techno, Pete, man. It's Electro.
Hip-hop. He called it hip-hop. I remember now. So, I'll be honest, I think the first time I watched this movie, the reason that I fell in love with it was that bromance between Shaun and Ed. And it's probably the reason I still love them even though I hate them.
Yes, I told you this before. I don't think this is much of a hot take, but even though Nick Frost is charming as fuck, his character Ed is such a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Oh, 2 seconds.
Go for it.
No, that's it. It's just like they're so everyone should know what this movie by now. So like the scene when they're walking to the Winchester as zombies, all of a sudden Ed gets a phone call. She's like, "Oh, 2 seconds," and takes the phone call, and everyone's just like, "Ed, shut the fuck up! Put away the phone!" And all the zombies have just stopped, and they're just staring at them. It's like, Ed, you suck.
I have been in so many moments in my life where I was Shaun in that moment. Just the utter shock of, are you fucking serious right now? But I got a mini tangent. That's what we're known for around here is tangents. So
I mean, the other name for the show is the meandering dump.
Yeah. Meandering dialogues.
There it is.
We're dialoguing and I'm meandering. So
hell yeah.
Shaun and Ed definitely mirrored the relationship between me and my hetero life mate, Big Dick Brandon, who incidentally was the guy who convinced me to give this movie a shot. He's like, dude, you gotta watch it. The movie's awesome. I'm renting it. I'm coming over tonight. I'm like, it's a school night. He's like, I'm a fucking rebel. So he got me to watch this movie. We both fell in love with it. But watching this movie, you can clearly see Ed is Shaun's true love interest.
Oh, absolutely.
And the reason that I say that there's a lot of mirroring between Shaun and Ed and the way me and Brandon were. Brandon, when he got married, me and his wife didn't get along very great. I was the best man at his wedding, but when he asked me, I'm like, okay, but you got to hear what I think about all this. I unloaded on him. I told him what I thought about the whole situation. So you're not going to be my best man? I'm like, no. I want to be your best man. But you really need to tell that preacher to skip the if anyone knows why these two should not be wed, speak now, because it's going to be really awkward if your best man's the first in line. He's like, okay, that's fair. But yeah, now his ex-wife.
What?
Me and her got in an argument over something. I don't even remember what it was over anymore. But she said something and just thought that she had made the biggest point in the world. And she's like, what are you going to do about it? I'm like, he loves me more than he loves you, right? And she kind of does that, the liberal arts confidence. Like, yeah, right. And looks at him. He's like, he's right. And she's like, what? I was like, well, I don't have sex with him. So told his wife, they were married, told his wife, yeah, I love him more, but I won't have sex with him, just you. Like that made it all okay.
That's fantastic.
If she didn't like me before that, she fucking hated me.
So you went from I fucking hate you to you are the worst person I've ever met. That sounds about right. Probably.
But yeah, I was the best man at their first wedding. I wasn't there when they got remarried the first time, but he's doing better off now, and the chick he's with now, she's a good girl. I think the world over.
He lives in the shed in your backyard playing PS2 all the time, right?
Yep. I take him a plate of brains every week or two.
But yeah, I mean, what can we say? I mean, not only is this a great movie, it's a smart movie. It's a very well done movie.
Oh yeah, this has a tight fucking script. Like,
well, not even. The script, yes, but even the way it's shot. Like, I mean, the two famous scenes that immediately come to mind is Shaun is hungover, so he walks to the local shop. All of it's done in one shot. and they're almost like mirrored to each other. You got the first one, which is before everything starts going to hell, and then it's the morning of, where you see zombies walking around. And actually, this was actually one of my questions. Have you ever had such a relationship with the local shop owner, which is like, hey Nelson, I owe you 15p?
I don't think I've ever been on that good of terms, but I have had shops where like they knew me and they knew the things that I was coming in to grab. So, I've been the regular guy, and there were probably a couple of places where if I tried to pull something like that, like when we had a Dunkin' Donuts in Walmart for a while, Marco probably would have let me get away with some shit like that, because he'd see me coming. He's like, I gotcha, and there's your regular. Yeah, he knew exactly what I wanted before I'd even walked up and said, hey. So I might have been able to get away with it if I'd tried that, but I never tried. Probably because, I don't carry cash and everything was with a fucking card, but...
Sure. No, I never had that sort of relationship with any shop owner. I mean, obviously I worked in retail for a number of years, so everyone recognized. But I can't pull that sort of shit in my store. Be like, hey John, I don't have any cash. I owe the company like $2. I don't think that would have flown very well with management.
Probably not.
But yeah, no, it's...
But what you're saying kind of ties into one of the things I stuck down in my notes, and that is everything in this movie pays off.
Yes.
Are you familiar with Chekhov's gun?
Yes.
All right. So anyone who might be listening to this that's not in the know, it is a filming storytelling principle that every element of a story should be necessary and relevant to the plot. And they call it Chekhov's gun because the example that the dude who came up with this idea was, if a gun is introduced in the first act, it needs to be fired by the third act. If you're bringing something up, there needs to be some kind of payoff. This movie is like a just masterclass in the Chekhov's gun concept. You left the door open.
And you're led to believe the whole time it's Ed.
Yeah.
When you learn it's actually Shaun.
Well, not just that, but the door was left open. The door was left open. They're watching TV after the outbreak. Lock your doors and secure your windows. As the news is saying that, you see in the background a one-armed zombie shambling in, out of focus. Mm-hmm. They look at one another and have the, oh shit, look over their shoulder. There he fucking is.
Yeah.
The voice messages. That one was an instant payoff. When you play the messages, and can you take notes for everybody's instead of just your own? Yeah, fuck off, Pete. And Shaun's like, can you do it for me, man? Oh, Shaun, I'm sorry. Shaun goes out the door. Liz calls. Guess who never gets the message? You mentioned Shaun's morning routine. The single shot where he walks over there, does all that stuff. Then they mirror it again after the outbreaks in full swing. The running gag of "you've got red on you," which is probably the most iconic line from this movie.
Mm-hmm. Also, we should mention that it's this scene where we get the ever-famous Cornetto, because the name of this movie is part of the Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy, and that includes this, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End.
Now, I mentioned this last time. I've not seen World's End yet, but I have seen this and Hot Fuzz. Do you know how the calling it the Cornetto trilogy became a thing?
I actually learned this from another podcast that focused on this. Apparently, Cornetto, or during the rap party for the first Shaun of the Dead, Cornetto gave everyone like free Cornettos. So it's like, oh boy, let's try doing this again for Hot Fuzz. They didn't do it for Hot Fuzz, but they got free Cornettos again for The World's End. So Meatloaf math, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
That is an awesome punchline for that. But yeah, he made it officially the Cornetto trilogy, trying to get free fucking ice cream when he did Hot Fuzz and didn't do it. Shit. Well, now I'm committed to the bit.
I mean, obviously this one's the most subtle, but when you look at the other two movies, you're just like, yep, those are shoehorned in. But yeah, what's another thing with Chekhov's gun? It's
a bunch of egg quotes that really keep coming up and over and over. I'm sorry, Shaun. No, I'm sorry, Shaun. What? Oh! I quit doing it when you quit laughing. There's actually one line after Ed gets into it with Pete that next time I see him talking about Pete, he's dead. The next time Ed sees Pete is at the end of the movie when shambling zombie Pete wanders into the Winchester, takes a bite out of his neck, and Shaun blows his brains out. So, bunch of fun callbacks with Ed lines. And then the eponymous gun of the movie, the Winchester. They introduce it in the first act. When is it shot?
At the very end, that becomes Shaun's weapon of choice. Of course, for like the first bit of the final climax of the movie, he's smashing the gun, cracking the zombies' skulls, and it's like, why aren't you using it? It's like, it's not a real gun. And then he accidentally fires it. It's just like, oh my god, this was a real gun.
But dogs can look up.
But yeah, I mean, what else is? Oh, the flowers that I think he originally bought for his mom. Shaun bought for his mom. It ended up, how's it go? Because they do return.
Yeah, he buys them for his mom, and he's heading over to give them to her, but he realizes he fucked everything up with the date he was supposed to take Liz on, because he didn't get the message, told her everything was fine. When he goes over there to try and kiss ass and make up, he's like, see, look, I gave you flowers. And she reads it, like, to the world's greatest mom. And he tries to bullshit and it's like, no, it's a callback to that conversation we were having at the pub last night. These are for your mom, aren't they, Shaun? Yeah, they're for my mom. She gives him the flowers back, and then on his way home, he throws them in the trash in front of the Winchester. And when they go there later in the movie, David, who's a cunt, dumps out that same trash can to throw it through the window so that they can get in and away from the zombies. And before everyone files into the window, his mom finds the flowers laying there. So they finally do make it back around to her. Yeah.
You see, again, it paid. I mean, it's not quite a payoff, but it's one of those things of, it's mentioned, Chekhov's gun.
There's no... I couldn't find any like standout moment of something that didn't in some way or another circle back around. Even just small throwaway lines get flip-flop between Shaun and Ed at the end with different context. So much of this script, they worked it hard, and for all of the clever dialogue and plot, it's still a super, super visual movie.
Oh, yes. I mean, well, we all have to agree that Shaun's eventual plan... Actually, no, this was Ed's... No, this was Shaun's. Of waiting out the apocalypse in the Winchester and having a pint. That was the worst plan they could have come up with.
In Shaun's defense, it was Ed's fault because he wanted to be somewhere comfortable that he could smoke.
Well, for one thing, it's just like, with everything going on in the world right now with the zombies, I don't think smoking in a apartment building is out of the question. But I get it, that's just part of the humor.
We kind of danced around it. Let's talk some about, Shaun and Ed's supporting cast here.
All right.
Because, Shaun, of course, the lead of the film, the man-child in a dead-end job, stuck in a rut that he has no interest in breaking out of. But damn if he didn't adapt to the fact that there's zombies now really quick. Even if his plan was shit, like, he is definitely taking action and doing the best with what he can come up with.
Not to mention that he is also extremely hungover.
Not the best situation to be in a zombie apocalypse.
But he managed to do it. And I guess, adrenaline can do wonderful things. But, I mean, actually, I want to go back to when he's discussing the plan with Ed about, like, we need to go to Liz's apartment. This is after he got a call from his mom saying, like, oh, Philip, who is his stepfather, was bitten. And obviously everyone knows, okay, he's becoming a zombie, and they know it as well. So each time they come up with the plan, every time it's just like, we go over, kill Philip. Shaun is always... He always says something to Philip. It's like, I'm so sorry, Philip. So then next time, sorry, Philip. Third time, sorry.
But yeah, pick up my mom, Kill my stepdad. Sorry, Philip. Go to Liz's. Have a nice cup of tea. Wait for this all to blow over.
And
yeah, but I want to smoke. Come back here. He's like, no, can't do that. This place is shit. The Winchester.
We'll all have a pint at the Winchester until this thing smooths over. And each and every time, he winks at the camera.
Oh.
But actually, we'll talk about Philip for a second because he and Shaun hate each other. And we eventually learn as Philip is dying, it's just like, obviously his mom remarried and Philip was, hard on him. And it's just because, like, you are already grown up. I was just trying to make sure that you become, a decent adult. So you could definitely tell it's just like he loved him. He just had a hard way of showing it. And so, you can accept there is some forgiveness there.
When I was watching to it, which, I think it should be mentioned, Philip is played by, of course, Bill Nye, wonderful actor.
For those that don't know, he's Davy Jones.
Yeah. And I kind of felt like that moment of emotional catharsis between Shaun and Philip in the back of the Jag, as with all of the open animosity you see between them. Just that sudden kind of bonding moment.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, I was watching it like that felt a little unearned because it was one of the few things that wasn't really, like, their history wasn't really built up in any capacity except Shaun fucking hates him.
Yeah.
But I kind of think that was a little bit of the joke.
No, I think it's definitely intentional because each and every time it's just like they're talking about his dad. He's like, he's not my dad.
Yeah. So I think that, viewing it as a real emotional catharsis, it did feel unearned for me. But I think the fact that you have to have that as a trope and the way that they played it, it played to me more like a little bit of a joke and a jab, because it also becomes the setup for the next joke of, we're not all okay. Philip, he's dead. The mom looks over her shoulder. No, he's not. And now he's a zombie.
I will say probably one of the funniest, right at the very end when they finally get out of the Jag, which was a panic because apparently it's just like, why the hell do you still have child-proof locks on this thing? And
safety first, Shaun.
Safety first. And during this time, Ed has been driving the car, and he's just been playing some real loud rock music. And, eventually you just see Philip crawl to the, he's full zombie at this point, just crawl to the front of the vehicle, or, towards the front of the car, and he turns off the stereo.
Which is your first real hint that there is still some spark of the person they used to be underneath the zombie.
Yeah.
There is still a little bit of something there, which does kind of come full circle at the end when Ed, who, as we've already talked about, gets bitten in the Winchester, doesn't get killed, and at the very end of the movie, Shaun has squirreled him away in the shed out back where he still brain dead but zombie, plays his video games, and occasionally tries to bat Shaun.
You say that is a shred of humanity left. I think that's Ed just being very extremely lazy.
Too fucking lazy to, like, fuck.
I mean, seriously, because, any normal zombie, they're like, they're grabbing at you, they're really trying to bite you. Ed is just kind of leans down, he's just like, ah, and Shaun is just like, hey, stop, like he smacks him, he's just like, and just like starts playing the game with him. It's just like, yep, even a zombie, Ed is lazy.
Now, we did cover up in regards to Ed that I do think that he is Shaun's true love interest for this film, but he was way too fucking chill with the fact that there's zombies now. Didn't you feel like that?
Just absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It's like, Ed, you're a piece of shit.
I hate him, but I love him, man.
That's like I said. Nick Frost, the guy who plays Ed, for those that don't know, he is a very charming person. Ed, you fucking suck.
I think if they'd put anybody else in that role, Ed would have been completely insufferable. Like,
he would have been David.
Oh, yeah. Fucking David. All right, here's the notes that I wrote for David. Cunt.
Yes.
But I will say this for David. Who had the best death in the film?
Well, obviously, he's the only one. It's just like, everyone's just like, oh, got their head bashed in or shot. David got torn apart, and we see it on camera, and it is wonderful.
They dumped all of the effects budget to make sure, because you spend the whole film, and like, I kind of feel bad for the actor because he did a really good job in making someone that you just love to hate, because David is just so irredeemably Huntley the entire film. You can't stand him.
Well, here's the thing, because David, here's all the negatives. He's a pacifist. Negative number one.
Yeah.
So
kill all pacifists.
Everyone is like fighting for their lives, and David's just like, I'm a pacifist. And then eventually he hates Shaun so much, he got the rifle at one point and pulls the trigger. But the gun was empty, but it's still one of those things of actually, and this leads to his wonderful death, because he's just like, he starts backing away. You clearly see, David, you're standing right in front of the window. And then the zombies break through, they pull him and start tearing apart. It's just like, yes, well deserved.
Yeah, for his treason against their leader, he is disemboweled and quartered.
I approve.
They rip his intestines out. It is the one gory death of the entire film. And as the zombies are ripping his arms off. They're trying to grab him by the legs and pull him back through the window. His friends rip his legs off in the process. Mm-hmm. And then poor Diane, his girlfriend, who has come to terms with the fact that David has been very not so secretly in love with Shaun's girlfriend since college. And she was cool with being second choice their entire relationship.
Yeah, which that does not help Diane.
Up until this point in the film, she has been surprisingly not useless. Like, yes. She's the only one that's kind of been like, doing something at all to help Shaun, as shit kept going sideways. This is her breaking point. So, wielding David's right leg like a samurai warrior, she charges out into the zombie horde, beating them with the bloody end of it.
And then the doors close behind her, and we're just left to assume that, yep, she just got devoured.
So, not the best way to go out, and certainly not the best person to go out over, but...
I mean, we also should mention that a lot of people in this movie are friends with Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright. I mean, a lot of these, like I think Lucy Davis, Nick Frost, Dylan Moran, I think these are all people that work together. They're all friends. They worked on a show called Spaced together. And so this is just one of those things of, yeah, we're friends. You want to make a movie? All right.
They definitely have really good on-screen chemistry. Like they make for a very believable friend group on film. And, having that in real life is going to help. I really hope that David is a nicer person. Was it Dylan Moran?
Dylan Moran.
Yeah. I really hope he was playing against his real-life type, because, he played an asshole, an insufferable one, so well.
Well, it's also the same with Pete. Pete is Shaun's roommate, and he's just like, will you shut the fuck up? It's 4:00 in the morning. I have to go to work in 4 hours.
It's Saturday. No, it's Sunday.
And everyone's called in sick. So, and then you can definitely tell that he comes down to earth, because Shaun's just like, Liz broke up with me. And he's just like, just keep it down. So you can definitely tell that he seems like a decent guy. He just wants Shaun to grow up and stop hanging out with Ed, because he feels Ed just brings him down.
I would argue that Pete is probably the only adult in the film, besides possibly Philip. But, like, out of the primary cast, Pete's probably the closest thing to an adult any of them have managed to hit. Shaun's a man-child, but Ed is just, what would be the word for worse than man-child?
A David. A cunt.
Well, Ed's not malicious with most of his stuff. He's just...
No, he's just incredibly lazy and just very self-absorbed with himself.
He's lazy and a fuck-up, but when he comes through, he comes through. And I think we've all kind of had that friend that you can't stand them most of the time because it's always something. But every now and then, when you need them, they come through. So you're still friends with them.
Yeah, but with Ed, I don't know how that can be, because even it's just like, can I drive Pete's car? I always wanted to drive his car, so it's like, fine, he could drive his car. So next thing, he intentionally crashes that car just so he could drive Philip's Jag. It's just like, Ed, what the fuck?
Yeah, it just kind of popped out there. You were parked. Yeah. Guess we need to take the Jag.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I saw that Jag. That is a pretty car. But it's still also one of those situations where it's just like, Ed, what the fuck? Now is not the time.
Well, I mean, you're in a situation where there's the least amount of consequences for your actions so long as you don't get encounter a zombie on the body end. So, I mean, if you want to wreck your bud's car so you can try and drive a better one, I mean, that would be the time to do it.
I mean,
I don't know how he did it and no one noticed.
Well, because Shaun was too busy at getting ready to kill Philip, and Philip was fine because he ran the wound under a cold tap.
Like you do.
Absolutely. And his mom is just like, are you hungry? Like, no, Mom. Okay, I'll go make us some sandwiches. It's almost the equivalent of, Ma, the meatloaf.
So, in a real zombie apocalypse situation, if I was put with those people, or people like them, Ed would be the first one I shot. That would be the first, non-zombie human life that I took would have been Ed.
Yes.
As much as I love him in the movie, in a real situation, that would be the one, dude, you fucked up way too many times already. You done. And, I had that moment in, did you ever actually play any of the Walking Dead games?
No. I never watched the show. Actually, no. I watched 2 episodes.
Well, I played through the first Walking Dead Telltale game.
Okay.
And which the game has a lot of heart. It was a really enjoyable story. But there's one kid in that game who joins the group that every time, he has a single job, he's going to fuck up the single job. He gets a lot of people killed being a dumbass. And I kept telling myself, the moment it is an option to get him killed, this kid is going to die. And I wish I could remember the kid's name, but at the end of one of the episodes, it gives you the option. Because he's falling, Lee's trying to save him. He's like, no, I'm not going to let you fall. And me, real life Dane, I'm going, no, let him fucking fall. And the kid goes, no, you need to let me go, save everybody else. And I'm going, real life, yes, let him go, let him die. Kill this stupid son of a bitch before he gets anyone else killed.
How old is this kid?
He's a teenager, but fuck him.
Yeah, kill him.
He old enough to fight in war, old enough to drop him and just feed him to the fucking zombie. And it pissed me off because I went for it. He gave me the choice. I let his ass drop. And it's this tear-filled, thank you, I finally saved someone's life. I went, no, you didn't. I killed you. You saved no one. This is not a heroic sacrifice. You were a useless piece of shit. This was a long time coming. And Lee walks away I could have saved him, man. I could have saved him. I'm like, no, it was the best thing you could have done. Fuck that kid. Stolen dick. Fuck him. I was very passionate about that. That was the one thing that got me really riled was I couldn't just kill him and be done with it. We had to make it this big emotional thing. But, we're supposed to be talking about Shaun of the Dead, not Walking.
There's dead in them. It's about zombies. Close enough.
Don't dead, open inside.
But, I mean, we danced around this movie, and we talked about a lot of major points, but it's just one of the things of, what can we say about this that people haven't already said? Because, let's be honest, you don't come across a lot of people that say, oh yeah, I've never seen this.
Yeah,
so everyone
everyone in our age range has seen, whether they like it or not.
So, and everyone is just well aware of it. I mean, what more can we really say? I mean, Shaun and Liz end up together, and Shaun doesn't grow up as a character. If anything, he's still the same lazy bum that probably still works at the electronics store. And Liz is just like, you know what? We had enough adventure. We don't need to go out to restaurants or anything. Let's just stay home. And hell, I'm sure she's like, well, go. Actually, I don't even think they can go to the Winchester anymore because last time we see it, it was on fire.
Yeah, and the owner and proprietor is no longer with us, which was one of the... Yeah, I've talked about needle drops in movies before. This movie did have the second greatest needle drop of all time.
Don't stop me now.
Because I'm having a good time, having a good time. The just setting the action of beating the zombie bartender with pool cues to be in time with a Queen song. And every beat of that entire scene just follows along with these. That was just brilliant. But I just had to throw that.
Again, this is one of those things of Edgar Wright knows what he's doing because he later does this same exact trick for Baby Driver. And a lot of the music in that movie syncs up to the action of that's going on in the scene. So he knows what he's doing.
Watching this movie, a lot of like modern blockbusters, you can tell that they just shot for coverage with the hope of bringing it together in the edit. And so often you see movies that are going back for massive reshoots where they're like, okay, we couldn't bring it together in the edit. We need these things that we didn't bother to even try and shoot. Or the story that we thought we were going to tell, well, now the company's moving in a completely different direction. They're no longer comfortable with it. We have to completely gut it and start over from scratch. Marvel.
Yep.
Seeing a movie where you had a singular vision, which I think Simon Pegg was also credited for the writing on this in addition.
Oh, yeah.
So, you get two guys who come together who have the same thing in mind and work together to make something collaboratively, and one's directing, the other starring in it. You've got a unified vision between these two.
Oh, sure.
Seeing what that singular vision for the thing that they want to bring to life perfectly executed really brings out, even if there are like arguably better grossing movies, better reviewed movies, this was a very well put together movie. Whether you liked it or not, no one can take that away from.
Agreed. And what you're saying, how it's like they knew what they wanted. It's like they did because, they worked together, they're friends, so they already have that work chemistry and friendship. They know it's just like, does this joke work? No? Okay, let's think of another one. So, and then they bring in Nick Frost. It's just like you have these three smart comedians that came together. Just like, does this work? Does this work? And this is the final. This was the result. And this was I believe that this did all right over in England, and when it came over to America, I think it started off as a cult hit, and they realized, we need to put this movie into theaters. So this basically got two lives. You got life in England, and then life when it came to America. So, it's...
Multiple lives, that's appropriate for a zombie flick.
Yeah, especially one as iconic as this.
And of everything to come out of the zombie mania of the early 2000s, because I know you remember it, zombies were every fucking way.
Yeah.
You had Shaun of the Dead, you had the Dawn of the Dead remakes, you had 28 Days Later, fucking Walking Dead premiering. Zombies were every day.
Yes.
And
Resident Evil.
Red Dead Redemption.
Fair.
You didn't see the fuck you smile that Jeff had just now.
We did an episode on that.
Episode 1, check it out if you haven't already. Episode 2.
Episode 2, your first pick.
My first pick, so. First one where we were acting like we knew what we were doing.
We still don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
But I wanted to interrupt quickly, because you talked about if you were with this group, how would you do? If I was in that situation, if I was Shaun and I was dealing with these people, I would abandon ship and I would go with their friend Yvonne and they were the ones that went to go find the military.
All right. So the moment that the two groups meet, and it's really hard to catch Yvonne's name, or at least without subtitles or your volume turned up a little higher than I could have it on in the middle of the night watching by myself. But the moment where those two groups meet and you see that Yvonne's life really is like the other side of Shaun's coin.
Yes.
because the entire friend group matches like beat for beat. The entire group, really great visual gag.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell, like from the get-go, the first time that Shaun and Yvonne run into one another, she has gotten her shit together, and he's still man-child who hasn't grown up.
Yes.
And when he's like, yeah, we're going to the Winchester. She's like,
okay.
The pub. Yeah. Okay, well, good luck with that. And the first time that I rewatched, the first time I watched this on this big rewatch adventure I've been through, I realized as they were burning the bar down, I couldn't remember how they got out of the situation. I was like, holy shit, I've forgotten the big turn of the ending. I could remember that, Shaun lives at his flat and Ed's a zombie in the shed out back. I could remember that part, but I'm like, I don't remember how they go from this to that. What's the Deus Ex Machina? I can't remember it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another case of payoffs. She had her shit together. She knew what she was doing, and she remembered that they went to the Winchester, so she brought the fucking reinforcements to get them out of there. She being Yvonne.
By the way, did you... apparently, I didn't research this. This is basically word of mouth I heard from another podcast. Did you get the Resident Evil video game Easter egg? And it's in that scene. So right at the so apparently, and again, if I'm wrong, Dalton, you're gonna call me out. But at the very end, right before, there's like a trap door that it's one of those mechanical, like pneumatic metal ones that they were, I guess, pushing on it and it wouldn't open. So they're just sitting in the basement or the storage underneath, just accepting. Yep, we're gonna die. We're gonna. Who are you gonna be able to shoot yourself if you shoot me? That sort of stuff. They move something, and you see the switch, which activates the door, the trap door, and apparently that's a callback to Resident Evil. Like if you shine a light on it, and all of a sudden you see the button.
It's been so long since I played the old Resident Evils, I don't even remember what it would be calling back to. But yeah, I totally missed that reference.
I mean, it's just a little thing, but it's just a nice touch that, we like playing this game, and I'm actually reading it right now. Both Peg and Frost loved playing Resident Evil. So I was like, hey, maybe we could throw this little Easter egg in there.
The thing I always think about when I think about the original Resident Evil was the first time that I ran through the game, I got in the fucking groove and played through like half of the game and I hadn't saved. And the first time I encountered the hunters, they ganked me and I lost like 6 hours of playtime.
I never played Resident Evil, so the only hunters I know of are the ones from Left 4 Dead.
They look like these weird kind of half lizard, half ape things. They jump and they swing and they got claws on the end of their hand. They'll take your fucking head off or shit like that.
So they're sort of like hunters and they're sort of like witches. Got it.
Yeah, but you can't sneak around one of these things. They just aggro from the moment they pop up.
Hey, it's not my fault. It's not my fault that those witches are a bit of a puss. Just suck it up. You're zombies now. You don't need to cry about it.
Don't be a bitch.
We could definitely talk about that. It's basically the whole expendable persona I got with these kinds of games. With Phasmophobia. It started with Left 4 Dead. With okay, here's what's gonna happen. You guys get your guns locked and loaded. I'm gonna activate the witch. Got it?
Wait, no, don't activate
Leroy Jenkins. Every time. But do you have anything else you have to say about this? Because I feel like we covered a lot, and I feel like it's just one of those things you can't really talk about. You just have to experience it. You have to watch it.
I can't imagine anyone's going to be listening to this that hasn't seen this movie before. What I'm going to say is, if you haven't seen it in a while, go borrow a copy from Mr. Bay if you have to. Dig out your old DVD. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere right now since it's November. I'm sure I didn't.
You have to rent it on Prime.
I've still got my actual legit copy that I've put on Jellyfin from the DVD that I did pay real money for at one point. because after I watched this movie, I immediately went out to the store and bought my own copy of it. So,
well, you need to buy the 3-disc Blu-ray for all 3 movies, because I know at one point we're going to talk about Hot Fuzz and The World's End at one point.
Because I really love Hot Fuzz too, and I haven't seen World's End. So
I need to watch Hot Fuzz again, because I watched it and I guess I didn't get the idea of it. It's satire. So I need to watch it again to actually fully embrace. Oh, okay, I see what they're doing now. And the World's End is just, it's. I don't want to spoil it because there's a fun twist.
I do know when I was just poking around on like internet review sites and shit, I haven't been spoiled on that movie, but I do know that it was the lowest rated of the trilogy from the things that I was seeing. So I don't know if that was people were kind of tired of their shtick at this point, or if it just wasn't as well received in general. I don't know.
I think it just wasn't as well received, but even still, I think it's still a very funny movie. It's still a well-made movie. I mean, you expect nothing less from Edgar Wright. He made a quality picture.
But I do want to actually check it out. The thing that I remember the most about Hot Fuzz was a bunch of cops really liked the fact that they acknowledged the mountains of paperwork involved in police work. Because that's the thing that always gets glossed over in, the buddy cop movies where...
Oh, yeah.
You watch the massive action scene, the real cop's going to be looking at it like, oh, man, there would be so much paperwork with that shit. You wouldn't get out of the office for like a month because you'd be filling out all this. And that is just a big focus and running gag throughout that entire movie. But anyway, Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah. We'll save that for a later date.
So the thing I'm going to say is if you haven't seen it in a while, get a hold of it. And honestly, just watch the movie twice in a row. Maybe not the same night, but like 2 times within a week of one another to really see just how well everything pays off in this film.
Yes.
Because it had been so long since I watched it the first time I was doing my rewatch. I was like, man, I forgot how much I love this. And then when I started doing a rewatch of this rewatch, I'm like, damn, they paid everything. And it was just one of those, the more I saw it, the more I really appreciated it. So you owe it to yourself to watch this movie 2 more times.
And like you were saying, each time try to really analyze the movie and try to find all the little things behind it.
Or hell, just pick a random catchphrase that pops up in the first 15 minutes and wait for it to show back up at the end. Because I guarantee you, it's going to show back up.
If you were to grade this movie,
I'm just going to call a spade a spade. I don't even have like a strange existential crisis of a grade that I can assign this. This is just the best zombie film, period. It's a best in class to me. I can't even like mockingly recommend it. It's good. It's a legit good zombie flick. It's a good comedy. It's a smart comedy.
It is very smart.
And as smart as it is, it's got a lot of dumb fun jokes in it. And go rewatch it. What about you?
I don't know if I want to do my normal letter grade or if I want to do a traditional like Steam machine grading system, because I do want I'm going to do a Steam machine grading. I'm going to give this. Is this a perfect movie? To me, it is. This is 10. Sorry, Phillips. Out of 10. Oi, pricks. Because that was another funny joke when it's just like, is Philip upstairs? Is he home? Oi, prick! No, he's not here.
Pete, oi, prick!
No, he's not here.
He was there. He wasn't, but he was.
He was there in spirit, and yet he wasn't. But yeah, that is Shaun of the Dead. Do you, I know we got some listener questions. Did you, come up with a quiz for this?
You know I have a quiz for this.
Fantastic. Lay it on me.
All right. So I got to thinking, how do I do this movie honor with a quiz? So, of course, I got to do something. And I got to thinking, there's a lot of different takes on zombies, and at this point, the only real way that you can do zombie is have some kind of unique take on 'em, something that makes your zombies different from the other mindless, brain-eating hordes out there, because people are judging it by, well, what does it do different? No, the zombies are like this in this one. So how are they differentiating it from the source material? So the idea I came up with is a little game I like to call Name That Zombie. Might go back and add some reverb to that. I don't know, depending on how much I drink. So here's the rules. I'm going to briefly describe a unique take on a zombie from a film, show, or a comic. And Jeff, what I'm challenging you to do is, based on that description, deduce the name of said movie, film, or comic which the zombie has been taken from.
I'm fucked. Because one, I don't read comic books, and zombies was never my thing. So I've never seen a lot of these movies.
So I know you finally kind of got into the swing of my off-the-wall quizzes. Mainly, I'm finally getting ready to throw you a curveball this time in a while.
Great.
So I will let you know ahead of time there's no video game zombies. I decided not to include those because it would be too easy for you.
What? It's not like I know every type of zombie in Left 4 Dead.
I did actually originally have a question for the witch. And I'm like, nah, he's the expendable. He probably knows all about the witch.
I do. I've been violated so many times.
Nah, they, spores, that's going to be, give me. So I tried to find some interesting ones, and oddly enough, my daughter helped me with this quiz.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, so credit goes to Little Mini Puzzles for 2 of the questions on this quiz. She helped me out.
Little daughter Dane.
So, do you understand what your task is?
I understand the task, but this might be my first failure.
So you're not feeling optimistic, huh?
No.
Perfect. Question 1. These undead, due to their pale skin and bad attitudes, are often mistaken for teenagers. Originally thought to be invincible, they can actually be destroyed by singing a song in perfect 3-part harmony.
Is this a movie?
This one is one of the shows. I'll give you that.
I'm guessing this is very kid-friendly, so I am going to say Adventure Time.
Close. These are the zombies from Gravity Falls, featured in Season 2, Episode 4, Scarioki. They were first referenced in the pilot episode where Dipper thinks his sister is dating a zombie, but it turns out that creep was actually 5 gnomes dressed up like a teenager.
All right, half point. I was in the ballpark.
So that's one of them my daughter helped me on. So, kid-friendly cartoon. Yeah, we'll give you a half point.
Yes.
Why the hell not? Question 2. This group of infected are technically still living, being taken over by a rage-inducing virus which is both highly transmissible through all bodily fluids and has an incubation period of less than a minute. Symptoms include spasms, internal bleeding, hemiomesis, bloody vomit, violent outbursts, and bloodlust. Oh, and they can run.
Resident Evil.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Actual answer is 28 days later. 28 days later. Yeah, they're not actually zombies, but we all know that it's supposed to be a zombie movie.
Sure.
No points on that one. If you had said Walking Dead, since they ripped so much off from 28 days, I probably would have given you a half point on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to question 3. These zombies, when first raised, find both their memories and personalities still intact. This, however, is temporary as they soon become violent and hungry. Silver can slow them down, but the only surefire way to stop them is by nailing them back into their grave bed.
Nailing back in... And this is a show, movie, or comic?
This one is from a show.
Nailing... Well, for one thing, what other zombie shows were there besides Walking Dead. Final answer.
Actual answer, Supernatural. Coincidentally enough, same season and episode number as the Gravity Falls question. Season 2, Episode 4, Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things.
I never watched Supernatural.
First 5 seasons are good. First 3 are the best. First 5 seasons are good. It really goes off the rails after that. This episode was back when they were still trying, and the show makes a note to joke about how there is an ungodly amount of conflicting lore on killing the undead. So throughout the episode, they end up trying pretty much every fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on to question 4.
Yee.
A prototypical zombie, if ever there were one. Reanimated corpses with a taste for human flesh that can only be downed with a classic brain blast. Their bites spread an infection which will kill within days, but another zombie this does not make. Everyone is already infected by a space spore, and you are coming back no matter how you die. Unless it was by a headshot.
Why would I've seen this? It's not. I think it was. I know we just discussed it. Yeah, fuck it. They live. Even though I think that's aliens.
Yeah, that is aliens.
Yeah.
This is actually The Walking Dead. You played the Walking Dead card too early. The space spore origin of the zombie virus is not actually revealed within canon, but is sourced from an out-of-context tweet by the creator. So he never actually revealed in the original comics or on the TV show, at least to my knowledge, I kind of quit watching, but where the zombie virus came from, but he did reveal outside of it when the comic run was done. Space spore.
Yeah, see, I told you, I'm not so good with these zombie.
It's alright, you got 2 more to redeem yourself.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and give you a leg up. Question 5 is going to be the other one that my daughter helped me on.
Alright.
Question 5, coming in with half a point. These green-haired zombies are created by a chemical spill, possess superhuman strength, and nearly uncontrollable rage. Only nearly, however, because thanks to scientific advancements, they can regain their humanity and suppress their murderous desires in order to live as second-class citizens in a musical allegory about segregation and overcoming prejudice.
Adventure Time. No, I'll say, I don't know. No, I gotta. I'm gonna stick with Adventure Time because I seriously doubt your daughter knows anything of something like Futurama or something like that.
Actually, she does like watching Futurama with me. That is one that me and her have watched together.
Well, then I'm switching my answer to Futurama.
The correct answer, the 3-movie trilogy, Zombies, stylized as each individual letter being called out by cheerleaders, because that's right, it's a high school musical about cheerleaders and football players and zombies on Disney+. In part 2, they introduce werewolves.
Oh, dear God.
In part 3, it's aliens. These movies are so dumb, and she loves them.
Well, what do you expect? She's a child. Of course she's going to love stuff like that.
Oh.
All right, last question. Come on,
One last chance. Let's get it into the single digit. Created by a shady pharmaceutical company, these zombies can live normal lives provided they have easy access to a steady diet of pineal glands. This meal also provides said zombie with temporary flashbacks, personality quirks, skills, and abilities possessed by the dearly departed.
Fallout. I don't know.
The correct answer is Fallout. No, unfortunately, no, it is not Fallout. iZombie, a fucking zombie crime procedural, because Hollywood is truly devoid of original ideas.
I've seen that, but I've never watched it.
That's kind of how I was. I've seen it, but I haven't watched it.
I'm surprised you didn't throw anything like the Borg in there.
You know what? An argument could be made with the Borg. Huh. But yeah, half a point.
Yes, I'll take it. For a subject that I know dick about.
Hey, you didn't end on a clean sweep against you, dude. Might
have
have been
win 'em
stretching it
all.
on that half point, but you know what? I'll let you have it.
You can't win them all.
So, I guess that brings us to listener questions to polish this out. We had a bunch of them this time around, so we probably will save some for next time, as we're running a little bit long. Play a quick game of Can You See Where Dane Spliced Everything Together? We did have a technical hiccup, and if I did it right, I hit it pretty well. So let's see if anyone can actually find where everything went to shit.
You revealed the secret.
Yeah, if someone can actually correctly guess it, I'll give you a free copy of greatest first-person shooter of all time, Duke Nukem Forever. All the DLC too. I'll give you the whole damn thing.
You're making it sound too enticing even for me.
I mean, you know what? The DLC campaign on Duke Forever is actually pretty good. DLC is better than the main campaign. The main campaign is ass, but yeah, the DLC is actually. So let's see what questions we got here.
I think it started with. Well, I'll let you choose. What question? The 3 questions.
We'll start in order. So Dalton posted a picture of a drink machine. You're a kid again, and you've got a quarter. What are you picking? Options he gives us: Diet Coke, Coca-Cola, Mountain Dew, 7-Up, Pepsi, Sunkist, Dr. Pepper, Diet Pepsi.
And we should know that these look like the soda designs back in the 80s or 90s. So there are chemicals, but I'm sure there's still quite a bit of real sugar in them. Either way, I'm picking Mountain Dew, even though that will give me so many kidney stones.
Yeah, if it was me then, I'd probably grab the Pepsi.
Well, it does. It says you're a kid again. So,
well, if I am suddenly formed into a kid again, so me going back to being a kid again, I'm grabbing the Dr. Pepper. But if it's just rewinding time, what would child of me grabbed? I'd have grabbed a Pepsi because I didn't like Dr. Pepper back then. I always liked
Dr. Pepper. I always thought there was something. Well, obviously it's different about it. Actually, I prefer RC over Coke and Pepsi. I'm one of those.
I've had spells with RC. I feel you on that. I don't really like drinking Coke because it kind of gives me dry mouth drinking it. I don't really get that with Pepsi. I know Pepsi's a little bit sweeter.
Did you ever drink Diet Right Cola?
I've tried it, but I've never found... Like, the only diet drink that I've ever been able to stand was Diet Dr. Pepper.
Well, it's funny because I remember at one point my neighbor had... I guess that just had a whole bunch of Diet Right. There's like 4 different flavors. There was like white grape, cherry, strawberry. I'm like, what the hell? Why are there so many different flavors for a diet soda? I just remember I drank a lot of the white grape just because it was a green design. I was like, green.
Wasn't Diet Right like the actual original diet soda and all the other companies copied the diet idea? Or have I been fed misinformation?
You could be fed misinformation.
It's entirely possible. But you know what? If I'm wrong, I don't want to know that I'm wrong. So I'm going to keep on believing that it was the original diet. So next question we had in line just for me, and it's one I can knock out pretty quick. It's from Adam, and Nate seconded it. The question was, did you ever hear back from that scammer? So backstory for anyone might not have heard the first appearance. Every episode could be someone's first. A while back, I was contacted by a scammer with semi-accurate, though outdated, information on me, claiming to have proof that I'm a dirty, dirty boy that watches porn. Mm-hmm. And I called him out in a response. So while I could probably weave an elaborate tale about how me and him have gone back and forth and all this other shit and trying to scare me, shooting shit back at him, truth is, no. Since I called him out for being full of shit, it's been radio silence. But if you want to hear the original tale, it's back in episode 3, and it's true. My scam email account of events was accurate, and almost all the scam emails that I've been getting quit whenever I called that shit out. So I'm starting to wonder if it was the same dude flooding my inbox with all different kinds, different takes trying to scam me. Mm-hmm. And he realized that he had just pissed me off and probably fucked up because I haven't got hardly from in.
They know to stay away from you.
So
it's like,
my God, mad shit and act like you know more than they do, and even if you can't back it up, maybe they'll quit.
It's like, don't contact this guy. He's way too dirty.
So next question in line we had, this one was from Dalton, and Dalton asks, why is it you can hold a piss all day, but the moment you step into a bathroom, you have 5 seconds to get your dick over that toilet before your cock explodes into a river of piss spraying it?
I don't have a scientific answer for that, Dalton, but it pisses me off. It's like, I'm going to hold it for... I remember one specific time. This was a family vacation, and I had to hold it for like 3 hours. By the time... I got stood over a toilet. My kidneys were like hard as rock. They were just that stiff. And I ran to the bathroom. It's like, I only got seconds. And even now, it's still the same. It's like, what? I don't understand why that is.
You might not have a scientific answer. I think I have it. So it's the same reason that you swing when you see a pair of tits. Okay?
Yes.
Go with me on this. No bullshit. Okay, there's a nerve that runs the inside of your chest cavity called the vagal nerve. Runs on the inside of the spine, not the spinal canal. It's real, no bullshit. I'm proposing it carries signals between your dick and your optic nerve. So the moment you see that toilet, it's telling your dick, unload, we're here. And that nerve is also the same reason that paralyzed women can still achieve orgasm. Look it up. I swear, this is a real thing, dude. I'm not making shit up right now.
I know you're one to bullshit, but this seems way too scientific for you to bullshit this. So I'll take your word for it, but I'll definitely do some further research.
Jeff has put on his skepticals right now. Like, there's some bullshit sprinkled in here.
I will find it.
But I think there's some truth in here too, and I'm not sure where the two part.
But I know I only want to do 3 questions. I want to answer Adam's question quickly. It's
Oh, sweet. We can do Yab's Pod level questions? Yes, you can. Good night, everybody.
Hell yes. For the uncut gentleman, how many shakes do you need to be all good, and how many is too many? So everyone says like 2 shakes. Any more than that you're playing with yourself. Man, I guess I'm playing myself every time because I'm doing like 5 to 10 shakes. It's like, I really need to make sure that every drop is out of my dick.
Well, he did make a specificity here on being uncut gentleman. So, Jeff, are you comfortable discussing the state of your foreskin?
Oh, I'm circumcised.
I guess it don't count for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
So, I guess that leaves me. So, how many shakes does it take if you're not cut?
Are you uncut?
My foreskin is still intact, actually. And my brother listens to this show, and he's about to get very uncomfortable because I'm going to talk way too much about my dick for a minute. So, Aaron, you can check out. Come back in about 5 minutes. I might be done by then. So, I am uncircumcised, for the record. And as far as how many shakes, it is at this point a non-issue because, you know what, I'm just going to say I keep the turtleneck pulled back at all. So at casual glance, if you weren't paying attention, you probably wouldn't realize I'm on. I got my dick out for Jeff right now. See what I'm saying here?
Oh my. Whoa.
Yeah, here, let me zoom in. See it now? Move the bush.
What? Oh, it's inside the bush. Okay.
Yeah. You got to look deep.
You need some hedge clippers down there, sir.
You know what? I spent so much time shaving my head, I just didn't have the energy anymore. But honestly, that when I was a kid, and I didn't bother with that, so it was always, everything's retracted, skin's out. I could not shake my dick enough to not have a little bit of dribble. No matter what, I was going to have the little dick kisses in the shorts. Or the tighty whities, whatever I happened to be wearing at the time.
Yeah.
But as far as the other part of his question, how many is too many? And I'm going to say, if no one's watching, dude, there's no such thing as too many shakes. I helicopter that shit every damn time. I mean, it's hell when you clean the bathroom and you got to, wipe piss off the ceiling. But you know what? I don't get piss in my underwear no more.
That's all that matters.
And I guess we'll call it at that.
For the record, I think this is the max we are willing to do on this show in terms of questions.
Yep.
Because for those that have listened to Yab's Pod, that show got blue.
I was on that show one time. I made one guest appearance on that show. And the very first thing out of Jeremy's mouth whenever he had the opportunity to question me was, how long's your penis? And if you listen to that show, it's out there. I did not miss a beat. I answered instantly. I answered honestly. There is no shame in my game. But if you want to listen to it now, you're going to have to go and hunt that episode of Yab's Pod down.
Because that show is on hiatus.
Yeah,
but it's still out there in the ether.
Entirely on YouTube now since we figured out that trick for loading the RSS feeds in. Dalton's got the whole thing up. And about a month ago, whenever he saw the band Hammer come down on TSMP, you know what never got touched?
Yab's Pod.
For all the shit they talked on Yab's Pod, not one episode ever got false flagged for any kind of terms of service violation.
I mean,
how the hell, dude?
Because they're talking about disgusting stuff. I don't know.
I could find probably 3 TOS violations per episode in that. At least for YouTube.
Jeremy ran a clean show.
I mean, he never bullshit, but he was really true to himself and true to his truth. But yeah, you weren't playing when you said they got blue. I always love that they ended the show on episode 69.
Nice.
So I guess that just leaves us with one last thing to cover.
Indeed.
Jeff, next pick's up to you. Where'd you land?
So, I noticed these past few episodes, we've been talking about movies. And as much as I've been enjoying that, we're not Dan and Jeff's movie dump or media dump. So I want us to expand and talk about everything. Movies, games, shows. Throw in some music. Hell, books is a media. Let's throw that in there as well. So I decided I want us to pick our favorites of each of those categories from the year 1987.
It's a good year. It's a good year.
So basically, that just in case you don't quite understand, I want us to pick our favorite movies, games, shows, etc. from the year 1987, and then we will report back in 2 weeks for our favorites.
So kind of a top 5 of 87, but instead of top 5 movies or top 5 songs or top 5 anything like that, we'll actually cover a individual thing from each of those different categories that was just our pick for that year.
Our favorite medias from that year. And I know that you're a huge you like books, you like board games, so I'm sure there were definitely some of that stuff back in 87. I'll let you throw that in your favorites as well.
Yeah, I know I've already got a couple of things in mind for stuff that I'm going to talk about, but I gotta think about a few of these and do a little bit of research and see, all right, was this actually something from 87? Which, in case anyone's wondering why Jeff picked 1987, me and him were both born that year. So,
but we bookended it. You're January, I'm December.
Yep. I was born January 30th and Jeff December 11th.
Yes.
So yeah, maybe narrow it down. It has to land between our birthday. If it come out January 29th, it's off the table.
Actually, hold on.
December 12th.
If that is the rule you're setting up, hold on. I need to look something up here.
I'm gonna love if my random bullshit just eliminated something.
Because I know for the video game, I'm picking. Oh god damn it! It doesn't say. It just says 1987. Fuck it. That means it's acceptable. No, this was for my video game pick. It just says released in 1987. Good enough.
Oh, well, dude, I think that's a wrap for us.
Yeah, not even Google is telling me. It just says released. So no one knows when this game was released in 87. But it was released in 87. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, I'm not really going to enforce that rule. But if you find if I can prove anything landed outside of that range, I will try and give you shit over it. Just because I like being.
Of course.
Well, I think that brings us to an end, man.
That is.
It's been a fun time. Talking zombies, shooting shit.
This was... Yeah,
bombing
this is
a quiz.
Hey, half a point.
Half a point.
I didn't go pointless. But no, this was a great pick. This is fucking great movie. We've said it before. If you haven't seen it in a while, watch it once, twice, 10 times. Experience it.
Yeah, I'm probably going to scar my kid later this week and let her watch it. 7's old enough for Shaun of the Dead.
Well, sure. Of course. I mean, we saw all sorts of terrible things when we were even younger.
Maybe I shouldn't let her watch Shaun of the Dead.
No, it's fine. Just cover her eyes when it comes time to David's death.
You know what? He's a big enough asshole that I think that would be the thing that would get her past. Like, Dad, he had that coming.
Yes, honey. He did. He was a cunt.
Fun fact, speaking of my daughter and the word cunt.
She said it 3 times today alone.
No, her favorite song that is something I let her listen to that I probably shouldn't have is it's a song by Falling in Reverse. One of their older songs. It's called The Bad Girls Club. She fell in love with it because during the chorus, or not the chorus, but the bridge, he gets these girls to like do a cheer, BAD, we're the Bad Girls Club. But the whole song is about him dealing with a crazy ex-girlfriend.
Mm.
And one of the lines in it is, "Somebody save me, this girl is fucking crazy," spelled CUNT. And she's old enough to figure this out, but so far it has kept sailing over her head because she's just kind of bopping to the upbeat music. And I looked at my wife the other day. I'm like, you're going to be so pissed at me when she puts 2 and 2 together on that, aren't you? She's like, yeah, I am.
Hey,
and you're probably going to have, and you're going to have to explain it to your mother because we both know who she's going to do it in front of.
That'll be fun.
Got my last minute tangent in there. So, dear listener, if you stuck with us this far, we appreciate you. Keep on. Brock, if you're still out there, you're the man. And anything you want to say to the lovely folks, Jeff?
Oi, prick!
Good night, folks. Have a good one, Jeff.
You too, buddy. Take care.
Our theme song is Phoenix Down by Nile The Nightmare. You can find a link to that track as well as his full discography in the show notes or by visiting nilethenightmare.bandcamp.com. Want to hang out with us and a bunch of other entertaining degenerates? Join us on Discord at bit.ly/TSMPDiscord, all caps. Enjoy the show, rate us where you're at, and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.
Sorry, Philip.